Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Brand Momentum morning. This is Faith James. I'm so glad to be here with you. Thank you all for being here with me as we get started. If you haven't yet given StreamYard permission to use your name, please look around the video and click that link to do that, because I love to address you by name. So we are continuing our readings and discussion from the book The Wart of Art by Steven Pressfield. It's all about identifying resistance and combating the traits of resistance and how you can learn the ways to continue to move forward. And so we chose this because obviously this is the month of January, where many people are setting intentions. Many people are, really kind of getting into the flow of becoming more, being more, all about more life. And this is when resistance can really show up in the most nefarious ways and just wreck and ruin all of your plans. So I wanted to be in service to you so that you understand that resistance exists. As I like to say, its cousin is procrastination. She's a little bit nicer. She tells you, oh, it's not that you're never going to do that. It's not that you're never going to do your dream. We're just not going to do it today. And so you feel a little bit better about that. But both of them together, as we've read on Monday, their intention is to bury you. So I wanted to go into, with a little bit more detail and specificity, some of the characteristics of resistance. So we are starting off with resistance is invisible. And if any of these bring anything up for you, love to hear about them in the comments, and we'll give a chat around that. Again, we're going to be here only about 30 minutes or so, but I definitely want to give you some wisdom this morning. So resistance cannot be seen, touched, heard, or smelled, but it can be felt. We experience it as an energy field radiating from a work in potential. It's a repelling force. It's negative. Its aim is to shove us away, distract us, prevent us from doing our work. So let me ask you, do you have any work that you said you wanted to do, but you haven't yet done? If that's you, put no work in the comments. And again, this isn't about judgment, it's about awareness, because the only way that you can first fight the enemy is that you must first identify the enemy. And resistance is, without question, the biggest enemy that comes upon those who are seeking higher heights, seeking more life, seeking to make an impact, seeking to do anything that's going to be transformational and good for humanity. If you were somebody who's a ne'er-do-well and you're just, slacking off, wasting time, resistance has no time for you. They have no conversations for you. They just let you do that, right? Because that's in lockstep with what their vision is. But the minute you dare decide that you want to be more, do more, impact more, well, here comes the army of resistance. So first, know that it's invisible, but you will feel it, and it manifests itself in a way that it prevents you from doing your work. Resistance is internal. Resistance seems to come from outside of ourselves. We locate it in spouses, jobs, bosses, kids, peripheral opponents, as Pat Riley used to say when he coached the Los Angeles Lakers. Resistance is not a peripheral opponent. Resistance arises from within. It is self-generated and self-perpetuated. Resistance is the enemy within. Have you guys ever seen that movie, Sleeping with the Enemy? Like, that's the worst kind, because they're right in your house with you. It's the same thing. Resistance comes from within. It's that insidious. And the next characteristic is resistance is insidious. Resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work. It will perjure, fabricate, falsify, seduce, bully, cajole. Resistance is protean. It will assume any form if that's what it takes to deceive you. It will reason with you like a lawyer or jam a 9mm in your face like a stick-up man. Resistance has no conscience. It will pledge anything to get a deal. If you take resistance at its word, you deserve everything you get. Resistance is always lying and always full of shit. It's insidious. It's cunning. It will do every and anything. So we must take heed. Resistance is implacable. Resistance is like the alien in the Terminator or the shark in Jaws. It cannot be reasoned with. On Monday's show, I said, you cannot commingle with resistance. There's no conversations. There's no negotiate. There's nothing. The minute you see it, it has to be ushered out. It understands nothing but power. It's an engine of destruction programmed from the factory with one objective: to prevent us from doing your work. So I ask again, is there any work that you know you want to do that you haven't done? If you do, just comment #NoWork. This is awareness for all of us. This is helping us identify the enemy and then hashing a plan to combat, kill, destroy. Resistance is implacable, it's intractable, it's indefatigable. Reduce it to a single cell, and that cell will continue to attack. Just imagine that. If you reduce it just to one single cell, it's not going to stop and say, oh, wow, you know what? I lost all of my other cells. I'm just one. It's still going to attack. This is resistance nature. It's all it knows. Good morning, Brenda, beautiful. And thank you for posting that, because this is the first step. Awareness, identification, acknowledgement, right? I'm putting my own comment, #NoWork as well, because there have been so many things that I either know I want to do or should do based on where I am in my business. And here comes resistance and her cousin procrastination. That has plagued me for longer than I care to acknowledge. But the fact of the matter is, being an ostrich, putting your head down in the sand is solving nothing. And so today, now in this moment, let's resolve that we have identified the enemy as resistance. We know, we see her no good cousin procrastination, and we're going to take action to move forward. Resistance is impersonal. Resistance is not out to get you personally. It doesn't know who you are and doesn't care. Resistance is a force of nature. It acts objectively. Though it feels malevolent, resistance, in fact, operates with the indifference of rain and transmits the heaven by the same laws and the stars. When we marshal our forces to combat resistance, we must remember this. It's sort of like that, when Christ was on the cross and he was being persecuted and crucified, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He didn't take it personally. He's not saying, oh my gosh, I'm so good. Why did they? Forgive them, for they know not what they do. So you have to understand that it's not personal. This is just what resistance does. If you saw a rattlesnake and you said, oh, pretty rattlesnake, I love the details in your skin and the way that the patterns come together. You're beautiful, you're wonderful. You sang in a sonnet. You wrote a love poem to it. You declared your friendship. And you're thinking, well, I've shown how good I am. And then you reach in to go touch the rattlesnake. What's going to happen? The rattlesnake is going to do what a rattlesnake does, and it's going to bite the heck out of you. And if you don't have the antidote, sayonara. So we can't take it. There's nobody after you. There's nobody out to get you. Resistance is just doing what resistance does, period. Okay? Resistance is universal. We're wrong if we think we're the only ones struggling with resistance. Everyone who has a body experiences resistance. So don't beat yourself up and don't think, oh, that person that doesn't look like they're having any resistance. They're doing and things seem to be coming up roses for them. This is why I always say, put your blinders on and mind your business, because you don't know what's going on in that person's company or their life. You don't know how they're dealing with resistance. But please understand that everybody that's breathing has dealt with that. Resistance never sleeps. Henry Fonda, and all the people in film and Hollywood, shout out to Brenda and to Suzanne, will understand this when I say this. Henry Fonda was still throwing up before each stage performance, even when he was 75. In other words, fear doesn't go away. The warrior and the artist live by the same code of necessity, which dictates that the battle must be fought anew every day. The battle must be fought anew every day. Good morning, Eileen. Yes, it's simply being human. And so you think about that, Henry Fonda, who is a stalwart of acting capabilities, performance, showmanship, been doing this thing, tenure in the position for years and years and years. And you might have thought, oh, he's got it easy. You know, he doesn't have nervousness when he's coming on to do his live. He's got it all handled. But here we see even Henry Fonda, arguably one of the best actors, was still throwing up. Resistance plays for keeps. Resistance goal is not to wound or disable. Resistance aims to kill. I'm going to read that again. Resistance goal is not to wound or to disable. Resistance aim is to kill. So if you know you had a podcast that you were supposed to be editing and putting together, and resistance shows up and you give in to that resistance, please understand that now you are consorting with the enemy. You are now in agreement with resistance that, yeah, go ahead and kill this dream. This podcast that I've been thinking about and doing and working, and so many people want to come on and spread their message of impact to the world. Yeah, I was supposed to do some editing today, but I'm just going to kick back. Resistance its aim is to kill. Its target is the epicenter of our being, our genius, our soul, the unique and priceless gift we were put on earth to give, and that no one else has but us. Resistance means business. When we fight it, we are in a war to the death. It's playing for keeps. So if a day goes by and you have a book that you were supposed to be doing the outline, again, I'm coaching myself on this. My third book, God is my brand strategist. The outline has been done. When was the last time I put pen to paper on it? # no work. But let us be clear and understand that we have our genius, our soul, our unique and priceless gifts that we were put on earth to give, and that nobody else has. So it's not like we can say, oh, you know what? If I don't do my sculpt yoga sessions, that's okay. Somebody else can cover it. There's nobody else who can cover it. There's nobody else who's Brenda Swanson who does sculpt yoga the way you do it. If Eileen's supposed to be doing a clearing email, and she says, I'm going to just wait until somebody else. There is nobody else. That's it. There is nobody else. Only you have the unique and priceless gifts that you have to do the work that you were put on earth here to do. It is you. Resistance is fueled by fear. Resistance has no strength of its own. Every ounce of juice it possesses comes from us. Wow. It's like we're arming the enemy with the bullets to come kill us. Like, that's how true this is. We feed it with power by our fear of it. Master the fear and we conquer resistance. Master the fear, master the fear, master the fear. I'm going to pause this here. And I'll do the remaining characters, but I wanted to just talk about this and give you some practical ways to master the fear. So everybody within the sound of my voice, those of you who are on live with me, I want you to get a new sheet of paper. And at the top, I want you to write the things that I fear. You could do it specifically about your business. You could do it about anything, because listen, once fear exists anywhere, it's going to manifest everywhere. So if you want to start small and say, okay, well, let me just focus it within my business, that's fine. But know that this exercise needs to be a holistic approach to you, the human soul, the light, the being. What are the things that you fear? What are the things that you have given power over you? So what you're going to do, we're just going to write that list. Just write. If it's, sales calls, I have a fear of that. Getting on lives, I have a fear of that. Being interviewed, I have a fear of that. Write everything. So if you want to do one for your business, that's fine. And then do it a more exhaustive one that includes your life, that's fine. And then what you're going to do, because again, remember, it says resistance only understands and respects power. You must take your power back. Resistance isn't here. It's fueled by the fear that we have. So what do we need to do to take the power back? We need to stand up and let all of these different fears go. And how do you do it? You do the thing that you're fearful of. So for example, if you have a fear of showing up and doing a live, what are you going to do? You're going to get up and do a live. If you're afraid of spiders, go get somebody who's like a spider handler and say, I want you to safely help me navigate this tarantula on my hand. Like for me, bufo toads, I'm like, no, right? So I would put on my list that, and then I have to overcome that fear. I have an irrational fear. And it's not that I think they're going to eat me or anything. It's just like, but that emotion, that energy of, I could literally see a figurine that looks like a frog, and my internal energy turns to disgust and disdain. What do you think that energy is doing to my body? So we have to address, identify, attack, and release that fear. And you do the thing that you're fearful of, and that's how you just have to do it once. I'm not saying go camping out in the Everglades, for, a week if you're afraid of bugs. But it's just, you want to show yourself in the resistance that, look, I will overcome. I'm taking my power back. I know that it's not something that's going to harm me, and I'm going to do it. The minute you do that, you start to release that stronghold that thing has over you. This is why I'm always telling you, do a live. And I've said this before, I'll say again, this show was birthed out of this book. So I'm in a mastermind group, and this is one of the books that we're reading, and it was talking about resistance. And you know what? I saw the enemy, and I knew it well. And like a bolt of lightning went through me, that says go do a show. And I was saying to Brenda, I said, like, I need another thing on my plate to do. But I didn't question it because I knew that was divine guidance. You have this fear of like overwhelmed, I can't do it. Go create a show. And look, this is our third day and we have production and it's good and we've got our edit and the world still spins. It's like, oh, wow. Okay. So that fear of overwhelm of, oh my gosh, my to-do list is going, it was just all in my head. It's all perspective. So what for you, what are some things, let me see in the comments, that for you represent a fear? And let's do a fear specifically within your business, within your brand. What is some things that you would say you have a fear of? Anyone? What are some things that you fear? And it doesn't have to mean that you're running into the woods. It just means that there is a dislike or a disdain, or it's not something that you naturally come to. It's like if you have a fear of height, you'd go up to the tallest building and go to the overlook and look out. And again, you're just doing it one time. It's not saying you're going to have to go walk a tightrope 10 times in a month. But what for you guys, everybody who's on with me, what are some things that for you, you recognize and you see as fear? Let me see these comments. Don't be shy. This is for you. Okay. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen says, definitely offering live presentations, and it's illogical as once I'm on air, I'm fine. I love that you recognize that it's not a truth, because that was the one thing that I wanted you to also say when you look at your list, and for each one, what is the truth about this? When was the last time that I did a live and somebody came and burnt my house down? When was the last time that you did a live that the police came and handcuffed you and took you off to central booking? When was a time for you, Eileen, that you did a live presentation and somebody just ripped you to shreds on social media? When was the time that happened? Obviously rhetorical questions, because there was never a time when that happened. And so, right, we know what fear, we talk about the acronym for fear, false evidence appearing real. There is no firing squad waiting for you the minute you hit the end live video. So that fear is completely imagined. So who is this? If you could click on the StreamYard link to give permission, I'd love to address you by name, but not being enough, which I'm overcoming. Oh my gosh. See, this is why God told me to do the show. Because there's so many dreams that have been left unboxed. Like, think about that. Imagine, like, you got a shipload of presents. Somebody took the time to know your personal brand, to know exactly what you love, that you love, tennis bracelets, or that you love jewelry, or whatever. And they found the most beautiful gifts from all across the shores of the world, handcrafted, handmade, beautifully ordained, and they sent it to you, and you looked at those boxes and go, that's just later. You would never do that. But that's what we do to source God, universe, every single time. Remember what I just read to you. Only we have these unique, priceless, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, priceless gifts. And By letting resistance win the day, we are waving the white flag. We are saying, oh, this gift, it's okay. You know what? I'll get to it whenever. It's not that. You would never do that to a friend. Somebody sent you a Starbucks $5 card. You would be calling them and saying, thank you so much. That was such a beautiful, thoughtful thing to do. But we get unique, priceless gifts and we don't unbox them because of fear, false evidence appearing real. You are, whoever this is, I want you to hear me loud and clear. You are enough. You are more than enough. You are exactly awesome in your perfection. God does not make any mistakes. Hear me say that. He's a creative universe. He's got the master plan. He's not confused about anything. Everything is ordained. Everything is aligned to the way it's needing to unfold. Everything is perfect. Everything is good. So please hear me say that you're more than enough. You're enough. You're enough. You're enough. You're important. You matter. You are loved. You are cherished. Give yourself such a big hug for coming onto the show this morning and having the willingness to share that, because this is how we overcome the fear and the resistance. We say it, we speak it out loud. This is why I'm having this conversation with you, because if we hide and we don't say it, we continue to believe the lie. Good morning, Elizabeth, beautiful. So you don't have a brand, but each time, let's see, Elizabeth continues, but when I step out on faith, not being prepared, my fear is to fail. Most times I'm called without being prepared and not being enough. So I want you to think, when was the last time you were called to do something, and after you did it, the firing squad met you at the door and said, oh, that was just crap. You were like not prepared and this is not happening, off with you. When was the last time the money in your bank account was swiped clear after you did something that you felt you weren't prepared for and you saw a negative balance? I'm saying these things to you because we have to ask ourselves the question, what is the truth in this? What is the truth in this? And the truth is, we are making it, remember, the resistance is coming from within. We're fueling it. The more we have fear of anything, it's like fueling it. It's like, oh, because now, listen, this is what we do brilliantly. We connect things that weren't even made to be connected. Oh, that person didn't like my post. And that was because last week when I went to that networking event, I didn't sit with that other person. And I know that they are colleagues. So I'm sure. We are connecting all kinds of things, telling ourselves all kinds of stories, and that's just resistance and her ne'er-do-well cousin procrastination doing a number on you. Yeah. It's not logical. And this is why we have to take the power back. Think of it like a toddler. We know full well that they will kick and cry and scream and have a tantrum. And if you don't exert your power in that relationship that says you are on a timeout, there is no screaming and hollering. I want you to think about what you did. You're in timeout. Go to your room and have a reflection moment. If you don't do that, do you know what's going to happen? That toddler is going to run circles around you, wreck and ruin you when they get older, because you did not exert the power. Right now in this moment, we've got to exert the power. We've got to exert the power over resistance and her ne'er-do-well cousin procrastination. Fear of not being enough for my kids or ending up like my mom with nothing. Have your kids ever told you, Teresa, good morning, Teresa, by the way. Have your kids ever said to you, you know, mom, I want to have a conversation about you. This is a real concern and I want you to hear me loud and clear. We are worried sick that, like grandma, you're going to end up with nothing. And we don't think you're being as good a mom for us as you could be. When was the last time your kids said that to you? I want you guys to know this. Once I was, this was when I was in New York, and Adopt US Kids was one of our clients. And we did this campaign, and it was really addressing this issue that when you think about being a parent, one of the things the campaign addressed was it's like, oh, I'm not going to be good enough. Am I going to be even good enough to be a parent? I couldn't have my own kid. And now, and that from the point of view from the kids, like they are not looking for perfect parents. They're not looking for all of the trappings of the world. They're just looking for somebody to express and show love and provide them a little sanctuary of comfort. And that was a campaign for Adopt US Kids, because people were fearful. Parents were fearful that they wouldn't show up as perfect for these kids. And they're saying, we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for love. Teresa, my love, I don't know you personally, but I know you love your kids, because from what you've just written here, that is where your heart is. And I want you to hear me say loud and clear that you are not going to end up like your mom. If you are determined and you are resolved to take action every single day. So again, for those of you who've come on late, you would just say to yourself, okay, if that's something that I'm thinking about, I don't want to be like my mom. What is one thing that you in your estimation, your mom did that wasn't good, and do one thing in the opposite direction? So for example, Teresa, let's just say it was your mom didn't spend time looking into her finances. She didn't have an understanding of how checks worked. She didn't, right? Let's just say that was why she ended up with nothing, just using your languaging. What would you do then? It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to get on my computer and I'm going to go to my bank and I'm going to read up on what are the savings options? What are all the savings options that they have available? Right? It's January. You know, a lot of people start Christmas club bits. You can make the resolution right now, the determination, go put $1, go find a container. And again, right? So simple. Put a penny. You know what I used to do? When I was in Jamaica and my dad would leave and he would go to work every morning, this was like my routine. I would have just like a number 10. Do I have a number 10? Let's just pretend this is a number 10 envelope. And as he was going through his morning rituals and he was getting ready to go at the house, and I would come and say, Daddy, can I have a penny? And he would indulge me, and this would be our thing. And he would give me a penny, and I open it and I put it in my thing, and I'm happy as a lark. Happy as a lark. Penny can't do nothing for, but that for me was a beginning point of taking a little bit of time with my dad. It was our fun thing. It was, so what if you did something like that for yourself and included your kids in it? If the fear is that we're going to end up with nothing, just say, you know what, honey? We're all going to do something that's going to be fun. This year is going to be the year that we're going to be saving every day. Guess what? We're going to save a penny. Everybody go get your penny jar. And it becomes a thing. It becomes fun. Now you've got a twofer. Now you're spending quality time with your kids so they know, listen, my mom loves and cares me. She's showing up in such a big way. And then two, mentally for yourself, you're saying, even though that's not $100 that I just deposited in that jar, nevertheless, God says never despise small beginnings. And so we're going to start by saving a penny. We're going to start by saving, 5 cents. Maybe you make it where each week, you start with a penny, and then the following week it's a nickel. Then the next week you're saving a dime. My beautiful Teresa, you're more than enough. You're a beautiful, heart-centered mom. And you're going to do amazing, magnificent, world-changing things. That is my blessing for you. Know that to be true. Good morning, Miss Bonita. Wonderful, Eileen. I will see you later. Good morning, Onika. How are you? I love that. Yes, Dee. Please do it. This is where we need to do. So I said before, and I'll say again, when you feel the resistance coming on, you just got to physically move your body. One of my clients, Karen, has an affirmation that she does, and I use that. Another one of my client, Jill. So you guys know I'm all about the essential oil. So I'll take either it's my sacred frankincense or see the other one that I have is clarity. And let me tell you, if you're not using oils, message me, because if that's something you want to incorporate this year, I highly, highly, highly recommend. And so this is clarity. And I'll just do that, put it there, and I'll just stand up. Like one of the things she says, like this year I take back my power. It doesn't even matter what the affirmation is, but that you physically get up and you stand hand akimbo, because that's when you're like, that's like the female power position. And you repeat your affirmations 10 times. Anything that you can do that's going to shift your physiology, shift your latitude, shift your attitude, do it. And hear me say, it doesn't have to be a big, huge production, because that's where the cunning of resistance and her ne'er-do-well cousin, procrastination, get you. They make you like, oh, honey, one affirmation is not going to do anything for you. You need to be repeating on loop 100 different affirmations. So what's the point of even doing that? That's not going to do anything for you. So you're like, yeah, you're right, maybe, and you don't do anything. Even if you don't get up, you say your affirmation. Even if you don't say your affirmation, thank you, Lord. You do something that shifts you out of it, because they're just looking to lull you back into sleep. Remember, it said, resistance is trying to bury you, and resistance aim is to kill. It is not here. It is not here to maim or disable. Resistance only mission in life is to kill. Kill your dreams, kill your hopes. Good morning, Amber Beautiful. Thank you for coming back to our show. I'm just so grateful for everyone who's showing up. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, because as I said before, literally this show idea was created on Monday, and here we are on Wednesday. So let me just say again, a couple of things as I wrap, because I can see already I'm 9 minutes over. If you have a gratitude story or something that's worked for you to keep you in momentum, whether it's in your personal life or your brand, if you want to come on the show, because I am going to set it up where I have people come on, and it's just going to be, it'll just be like a coffee talk. I'll have my cup, you'll have yours, and we'll just share and we'll just talk. What are some of the things that you've found helpful for you to keep you in momentum? And we're just going to share so we can give to the world, because there's so many people sitting on top of gifts unboxed, so many people sitting on ideas that need to come out, so many people that have been ordained, created to make an impact on the world. But that resistance or that procrastination that says, oh, do it tomorrow, you'll do it someday, but maybe tomorrow. Good morning, Maddie. How are you? Beautiful. So that is what I wanted to do today. And again, my continuing reading from the book, The Wart of Art. If you don't have that book, I highly suggest you grab it. It's on Amazon. And I want to remind everyone, if you are not currently in the Brand Accelerator program, where all we do is keep you in momentum, then I want you to go to appsumo.com, and it's spelled appsumo.com. The Brand Accelerator program is on a special AppSumo lifetime deal for only $97. You get the digital course, and you also get to be a part of the accelerator, come into the branding lounge, where every day, every week, every month, we're in action, doing, training, moving mode. You can't do it alone, right? Even me, right? As good and as bad to the bone of a coach, of a strategist, of a branding Sherpa, branding ninja that I am, I have to have a coach and a mentor to help me as well, because you can't do it alone. So if you're out there by yourself right now thinking, oh, this feels so overwhelming, I don't know where to start. If $97 is available to you right now, that is going to be the best money you've ever spent, because this should be thousands of dollars. The work that I'm doing in there, the access, the guest coaches that I'm bringing in, the master sessions that we're doing this Friday, for example, I'm literally just clearing my schedule for about an hour and a half, and I'm going to be doing a work session to help everybody actually come up with content to for their emails, for their social media, for whatever, because that's part of the thing. Oh, I don't know what to post. So rather than just post something, what do? We post nothing. And you know what? When you post nothing, resistance rejoices. When you share nothing, procrastination is she's having a party. So go to appsumo.com, look for the Brand Accelerator course, get in. I highly, highly recommend that. And if you want to get on the show with me and just have a kiki and a chat and talk about motivation and momentum, you can send me an email, faith@faithjames.com, and I will send you the link. I'm just trying to gauge interest to see if this is something that people want to do. And again, you don't have to have a business, you don't have to have nothing. This is just a conversation like, what are you doing in your life that's helping you create momentum? Or maybe it's, where you've struggled and where you've recognized that you've needed help. Amber says, I love that you keep saying, do not despise small beginnings, because I had a divorce and owned 3 businesses, but God put the gifts in me to be an entrepreneur and a businesswoman. The Lord has already given me direction. I just need to keep moving forward and not let go of my vision. Absolutely. Those are gifts from the Lord. Those are unique, special, priceless gifts from the Lord that he gave to you. There is no other gift out there like that. As good as this was a good coffee mug that my friend knew that I loved, and she got this for me. Do you think there's another coffee mug out there like this? Yes. So it's a special gift, but there's more like it. There is no more like it in terms of the gift that God's given you. That's it. It's one and done. So please be like me. Take the action. Take the inspired action. They may think you're wild and crazy for doing it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When John was out in the wilderness talking about there's one coming after me that's going to be the Messiah. People are like, what is he on? He's wearing fur and he's eating lotus and he's living on. They thought he was lunatic. Didn't matter, right? He was calling in the Messiah. He was calling in the Redeemer. Call in your gifts. Usher in your gifts. Worry not about what other people are thinking or saying. The gift and the vision is not in them, it's in you. It's your accountability, your responsibility, it's your duty, it's your role. Your obedience to God is what matters. Forget about man, forget about idle conversations. Do not be distracted by idle chatter, none of your business. This is what I like to say, mind your business while you're minding your business. Good morning, Melody. Hey, beautiful Michelle, how are you? So yes, take action. Elizabeth, I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for that. I love you guys so much. So the show will be on 10 a.m. For sure, Monday through Friday. If I feel inspired, we'll see what's going on if I'll do it on the weekends. But it's just really meant to be a kiki. It's just really meant to be a chat. It's just a place like a watering hole where we can come and just say, here are some things that we need to be doing right now. Remember what I said to you, don't feel like you have to do the whole ta-da. You could go save a penny and energetically your body is in a different latitude. You feel like you're not going to have anything? Start saving a nickel a day. I love you too. Yes, my love, it is my blessing, it's my anointing. And this is the other thing that I know, it is my responsibility. This is why when God says move, I don't question him. Because if I were going to say, you know what, I'm super busy. I'm just launching this online course on AppSumo. I've got my, new courses that I want to be I'm busy. I don't have the time. And you know what God would say to me? Who made your body? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I always say me and God are a majority. So if he says go, I'm gone. Doing it, doing it, doing it. Thank you, beautiful. I receive that. I receive that. All right, my loves, be well. I will see you guys back here tomorrow at 10. If you, I will come back and drop the link to The War of Art, this book, Steven Pressfield. It's all about resistance, recognizing it, what to do it. And I'm telling you, the quick thing is physically move your body. Do one thing, be it little, be it small. You want to make $1 million of, what do I like to say? You can't count to 1 million without first starting at 1. Start saving a penny if you're worried about money. Start saving a dime if you're worried about money. Those are the things that win. Yes, and obedience wins. The journey is worth it. Love you, beautiful. What a blessing you are. So needed this. My love, I'm here to serve. I am here by the will of God and his grace. And I've said this before. I said, in January, we're talking about intention setting and goals and what we're going to do. And if you haven't done that yet, I highly recommend you do it. Let me tell you guys what happened. So I've been doing these video vision boards for my clients. So everybody's doing vision boards. You cut out paper from the magazine, you put it on your board or whatever, or you print stuff off from the internet and you print it. So I do that, but I also do a video one. So for clients, like I did one for my client, Mary, in the UK, and I just had a session with her. What are you trying to manifest? What are the desires of your heart? And then I created that and sent it to her, but it's a video, it's got movement, it's got action. So again, energy flows where your attention goes. So there's things moving and blinking and words going where the things that she wants to manifest. Anyway, so I did mine first. And one of the things that I put, and I don't even know where that really came from, but again, when you're doing it, don't judge it. Whatever comes up, came up. So there was something about parlez-vous français, or it's made in France. And I put that on the board. And so I said, yeah, I want to become fluent in French. On my, I don't know if Anika's still on. Anika, I did the Tim Ferriss Dreamline, and one of the 4 things like, what do you want to do this year? I put speak French fluently. So there are now 2 instances. So I did it on my vision board, and then in this document that Tim Ferriss has, I put speak French, and that literally just was just bubbled up. I wasn't wringing my hands last year going, oh my gosh, je voudrais parlez-vous français très, très bien. That wasn't a thing. All of a sudden it came up. So I just, me, obedience wins, right? Obedience wins. I go with it. I put it on the board. So I'm in a Facebook group, and there is this woman, and I see her post, and it's in French, and this picture of the Eiffel Tower, and she's a French immersion language person, and she does a word of the day. And I was like, that's curious, interesting. So I responded in my broken French, and then what she does is she responds to you with the correct grammar and spelling in French. So you learn. Okay, that's interesting. That's cute. This morning in my LinkedIn inbox, a company that does personal branding in France. They have a personal branding TV. Hi, Faith. We saw that you did the reach, blah, 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 blah. Would you be open to coming on and doing an interview for about 30 minutes on our TV show? Everybody lean in, listen to me. She said, the interview can be in either French or in English. I'm sorry, what did you just say? So I say this to say to you, let's get to getting on setting our intentions. In Proverbs, without vision, the people perish. Make your vision, write it plain, so those that see it can run and go tell that like the wind. Set your vision. Resistance knows you mean business when you take the time to put, again, like I said, even if you don't have, write it out. What are your intentions for this year? Get to going. So I know, Michelle, that's what I said too. It was like, oh my gosh, I better reach back out to that woman in that Facebook group and say, I have an interview coming up. I would love to be able to do part of that, in French, even a little bit more than just doing the pleasantries that I know how to do, but I don't have all of the vocabulary words and the conjugation and how to do it. How fun would that be? But I'm telling you, there is that power. And I'll tell you why I know it works. Number one, I'm a powerful manifester. I'm just accepting my gifts and my anointing. It just is. But then I was unattached to it. And this is that key thing. I was unattached. It was like, if it happens, wonderful. I said, God, this is the desire. It's like, when you say you pray and it's like, leave it at the cross. You don't pray to God and say, oh my gosh, Lord, I want this. And then you're like, okay, well, I know that was a heavy load. Let me pick that back up, Jesus, because I know you can't handle it. Let me carry this now. I'm going to just walk around with this baggage. But it's like, but wait a minute. I thought you said you're coming to leave it at the cross. When you leave it at the cross, leave it at the cross. When you give it over to God, just give it over to God. Be still and know He is God. Good morning, Linda. Yes, the word is always, always awesome. Amen. Keep pushing. Yes, 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 yes. And so with that, I want to invite everybody who is not yet part of my tribe. It's in the Facebook group. It's called the Savvy Branders Tribe. It's a free group. We do awesome training. We do challenges. We do fun things just to kind of like keep you, as Melody likes to say, around the campfire, so that you don't feel like you're alone and you have company to go on this journey with you. But if you want my advice on one thing that you can do, and I'm not saying it because it's, I'm not saying it just because it's me and I'm doing it. It is brilliant. Ask Melody, ask Eileen, ask any of the accelerators who are in there. For $97, you can't go wrong. Michelle is in there. You can't go wrong. You get access to me for a lifetime in that program. That is just, it's listen to me. I'm telling you, this is God's gift, because my course was selling for $897 and this AppSumo deal came up. I don't even know how they found me. And they were like, oh, can you do your course on AppSumo? And I was like, okay, God. So I went from selling my course for $897 to $97. But guess what? I'm not worried about a thing, because the Lord's God, He's got me. Tenfold, multiply, overflowing, stamped down, full flow. That's what's coming for me. So He wants me to do this so that more people can get access to it. But again, in Proverbs, I'm going to leave you guys with this, where it says, once you get the plate in front of you, I forget what scripture it is, but you have to take the fork. Even the lazy man is so lazy, even when he's got the plate right in front of him. When he's got the plate right in front of him, still too lazy to just take the fork and eat. Don't let that be you. You're getting this word for a reason. You want guidance, you want help, you want support, you want more of this, you want more of the anointing of the word to bring that into your business and your life. Come get on the accelerator program. So just go to appsumo.com, look for the brand accelerator. It's $97. Get in. Your life is going to change for the better. Okay, beautifuls. I love you guys so much. Take care. Everybody be well. Have a wonderful, blessed Wednesday. I am going to get ready to move my body and get into my yoga class with Brenda Swanson. She's one of my clients, but she's an amazing sculpt yoga practitioner. If you see her body at 58 years old, it's zero fat, ripped shred. What does she do? Sculpt yoga. So I'm taking steps to be a better person, a better vessel, all of those good things. So resistance kept me off that mat for resistance, and her ne'er-do-well cousin procrastination kept me off that mat for years. I've been wanting to, I'm going to start my yoga practice. I want to start my yoga practice. Oh, tomorrow. Oh, that's so hard. Move your body, do something, make one small move. Remember, you can't count to $1 million unless you first start counting at one, right? You got the stacks. You're like, want to have stacks on deck. We got 1, 2, 3. Can't count to $1 million. I love you guys so much. Be well. I'll see you guys in the morning. Have a fab day. Ciao, ciao.